So we'll start with you.
Mm,
Your reflection. How do you think your lesson went?
okay, I think it was quite okay because I focus on the story elements, which is the first line of inquiry for our unit of inquiry this term, this unit. So basically, I think I did well on the review because we first discussed this a week before about the story elements, and then on this lesson I use the story of Little Red Riding Hood to discuss with the kids about the story elements, like who are the characters, where is the setting, what is the beginning, middle, end of the story. So I think I was able to target the main lesson. Yeah, I think that's how it goes, I think.
Is there anything that you would maybe change or think could have been better?
Um, because the problem is because of the COVID testing we have in the school. So I always the time is very limited. That's why I did my reflection the following day. But given more time, I would love my kids, to group them and we'll have, because if you would see there's only one group who did the role play, I would love to see different groups to role play the Little Red Riding Hood with their different versions of the story. I think that would be nice because it would be kind of student agency. So I would love to do that.
For me, some of the positives included one, you're really well prepared. There's a lot of props, a lot of resources for the students to interact with. The corners are clearly thought out. And the instructions were clear, so the students understood the objectives, they knew what to do, and they could all follow it. And you have the students that help to translate, so that works out. I did feel like, so they're watching the video, and the video is how long of a movie?
It was 3 minutes, I think.
Okay. And then, so then they go off to Think Pair Share, and then they're planning their role play, right?
Yeah, actually, the role play was like an impromptu. So there was just one group who volunteered to role play, and they decided to just use the Chinese language to role play.
So they're just going through the beginning, middle, and end for the story.
Yeah.
Okay. The corners, they're all obviously, like, it's very clearly thematic on this one story. So on this particular day, like, it's all kind of revolving around the Little Red Riding Hood. The following day, is it more loosely based, or is it like are they still doing all Little Red Riding Hood on the corners, the corner play?
Because that day our lesson is about the Little Red Riding Hood. So
Yeah.
the learning center is focused on the Little Red Riding Hood. So on the days that we've been learning about another story like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, we went on to, like, for example, the book making. They were making the book about the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So whatever stories we are discussing for that particular day, that is where the learning centers are being designed as well.
Okay, that's a lot of prep.
It is, but that's a reason, like, a week before, it's really important that I always work with my co-teacher because I usually focus on the learning centers for UOI and English Center. The art, the construction, the math is where my co-teacher does everything. But sometimes, like, if I have an idea with math, like the last time for the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, I was the one who did the math center, the UOI, and the English center. But basically, I just do two of them. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds very effective. I think the students are able to, having a theme for the day. Probably an English lesson as well. They're able to really live, I guess, that story to digest it more.
Yeah, but actually the Little Red Riding Hood, it took us 2 days, and the same with the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It because some kids like were able to understand, like if for example the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, I need to do the lesson again the following day in a Chinese way, so my co-teacher did it for them to have the mastery of learning. And then when I did the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, I need to do it in a Chinese way as well. My co-teacher will do it for them to have the mastery of learning. So it's not basically one day, but it's at least 2 days until the kids were able to master it. But if they don't, and I feel like there's still a need to repeat the lessons, then I would take another day, kind of thing like that.
So with the retelling, how about the language that goes along with it, like the first, then, and
Actually, because the Little Red Riding Hood, they know the story very much in the Chinese language. So when most of my kids, the higher ability and the middle ability kids, they were able to retell the story in English. But of course, you won't expect them to say it in a straight sentence. Like maybe like Aiden, Nora, Hannah, Majo, they would be able to retell or give the beginning, middle, and end in a straight English sentences. But for my middle ability students, they would say like the beginning of the story, Little Red go grandma's house, just like this, you know. But it's okay. At least they were able to use the English
the
language,
story.
yes, and retell the story. But for my lower ability kids, they would always tell me like, "Can I speak in Chinese?" Then of course I would allow them. So for the lower ability, they would do it in Chinese. Yeah.
For the purpose of the objective, telling the story, I think that's good. I do think it can be like transdisciplinary by providing some sentence frames that they are able to try it in English as well, even at like different levels. Give them like a sentence frame that they can say and repeat, and then just fill in the blank with the word that they're, for the sentence.
That's a good idea. I never thought about it. Sentence frame. Okay. I think that will be a big help for my lower ability kids. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I remember I'm doing the same thing with the TCRWP. I always provide sentence frame like I see, I look,
With the
and
sight words.
yeah, with the site, and it's really helping them. Then I think this is also the best way for me to use it in this lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like one day, and just it would have to be probably super simple, and then once that becomes easy for them to tell a story, then you can advance the language that goes with that. It's kind of like the show and tell that we did last year.
Okay.
Well, that's it. I think I think the students have a clear grasp of the story elements, and it'll be interesting to see the kinds of stories that students can make now that they're familiar with the characters, the settings, and the flow of the story. So how they put what they've learned together to create.
Actually, when like in the art center, they were doing the character Little Red Riding Hood, and for the character to stand, because it's just a drawing, then they cut and they put it in a plastic cup. And then because at first I just know that they're just going to do the characters, and then I saw the students in the art corner, they went to the construction corner and they started to put the characters and the trees and the flowers they made. And I was like, oh, this is really nice. And then my co-teacher told me, yeah, because I asked them to make Little Red Riding Hood characters and then put it in the construction corner. So from then, when I saw them, they were putting the characters, and then we started to sit down there and watch the kids. And it's just so bad that because I was very excited at the time and it's student led, I wasn't able to grab my phone, and took a video of that because it's really nice. And then they were starting to retell the story of, oh, this is Little Red, and then this is mom telling her to bring some food to grandma because she's sick, And I was like, but even my co-teacher was also surprised because we were not expecting at that time to do it. And I was like, and after we finished, and I was like, I wasn't able to video that. I feel so bad. But anyway, it's just so nice for the kids to just do that themselves. And I'm really excited for the summative assessment because for the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, they were able to role play even when they're playing during the learning centers. They were role playing it,
The
and
collaboration was really good between
yes,
them.
and I'm really excited how well will they make their own version of their stories, and I'm really excited with this one. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you.